Well, we've gone past the weatherman's 21. Mine was 24, and we've actually got up as high as 26 degrees this morning. So, well done, Nick Plews, coming in out of Leicestershire in the UK. He picked it at 25. It's Tuesday, 29th of April. Got to welcome along everybody that's watching us and all the medias this morning. Thank you for joining us. And believe me, it's an absolute pleasure to have Aaron Bozwell with us this morning. And he's coming out of Nashville. Also got to thank Caden Gordon, being promoted by Caden Gordon, of course. So he does such a great job. Tell you what, better do this, I reckon. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and believe me, absolutely exciting. We really, really are, because today joining us live is Aaron Bozwell. I want to hear your voice here at Galaxy. So that gives us a couple of minutes, Aaron.
Okay.
Don't look so nervous. I mean, I'm sorry, you have to look at this face, so I understand, it could be quite daunting for most people. I got the
looking young fella.
Oh, look, I got the perfect face for radio.
You sure do.
Thank you. Dear. So, believe me, I'm very, very interested in your music, my friend, and I know that you've been around for some time. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on board. It really is. Now, got to let you know, Barbara gets about 200 submissions of music a day. So we've got to be vicious. We can only take the best of the best. And, well, you know what? You ticked all the boxes.
Well, I appreciate that. I do appreciate all the airplay you guys give me, and that's very nice of you. I appreciate you thinking that my music makes the grade, to be able to air it. So that's very nice, and I hope that your listening audience enjoys it as well.
Well, they do. They really, really do. Believe me, this is why you're getting an interview. But you see, it doesn't just come down to me. Barbara sorts out, because we can only do so many interviews, play so much music in a month. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
When it comes down to it, Barbara is very, very good with her red pen and cuts out a lot of stuff. Then it goes to production, and Barbara sorted out, because it's got to go to a board. And the board really, well, they're only interested in our image, right? So if it fits with our image, then you're in there. You really, really are. Barbara then brings it to me on a USB device. I don't get any information, just the music. I Bluetooth that to my stereo in my car. Aaron, there's a reason for that. When we first started doing this, I was getting everybody telling me, you should do this interview, you should do that one. It's come down to it now that I'll make up my own mind and I'll listen in my car. And believe me, I've got a kick-ass stereo in my car. And it's good. Based on the music and nothing else. I have no information. So
right.
That's, besides the second reason too, is that nobody else wants to drive with me. It's true. It's very true.
I was talking to my friend.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today coming live out of Nashville is Aaron Boswell, and of course I want to hear your voice. Welcome, Aaron, nice to have you on board, and welcome to Galaxy.
Thank you, it's nice to be on your show.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure, Sarah, and I'm very, very humbled to meet you. I've got to be honest with you. I've got to let you know that I'm becoming very, very fast a big fan of your work. So let's cut down to it. How long have you been performing, my friend?
I started when I was just a little chap, when I was just a little boy, and I started singing when I was probably 5 years old. But I moved to Nashville from North Carolina. Grew up in North Carolina. I moved to Nashville when I was about 18 years old, right out of high school, and I went out on the road helping sell merchandise for Hank Williams Jr. They call him Bo Cephas, you know. Um, I helped them on the road for a couple of years, and then I had recorded some things that was sent to several different publishing companies, and one of the guys that it was sent to had sold a big company they called Tree Publishing, and he had just sold it to Sony for $43 million. But I started writing for Buddy Killen, that was his name. I started writing for him. He signed me to a writing deal, and I started writing for him. And then he ended up having me a deal on Curb Records, and we did an album. And this was back in the late '90s, and that album was shelved, unfortunately, like so many, you know, good albums, because Buddy really did a great job production, and it was ready to go. It's just politics got in the way. A little politics got in the way. He was selling his company about the same time, so anyway, so that was a blow. And then I opened up for several different artists, you know, started opening up some shows for them. And then in the last, I guess in the last 20 years, I've been recording independently. And probably about 2019 was when we started releasing some, right when COVID came in. I was doing some demo work for a lyricist out of Australia, and I think he's from Sydney, but his name's Trevor Hooper, and so he's a lyricist, and he would send lyrics in, and a friend of mine used to do the demos for him, but I started doing them and trying and helping some with his writing, and he was getting better, and there was some of the demos that just stuck in my head, like Spellbound, for instance. I did a demo, just a basic demo on my laptop. But for some reason, that song just kept, you know, it was just in my head. I was like, you know what, Trevor, I would really like to do this right and record this with some good, you know, good musicians. And can I get, I'll call Kent Wells. Kent Wells is Dolly Parton's guitar player, and he produces a lot of her stuff. And he's got a great team, and he's really easy to work with. He's just real professional, you know, so we did Spellbound with him. We did Love Is a Beautiful Thing and Gonna Make a Memory. And then I did Noel in another recording studio, and pretty much all the rest of them I did here. I did myself, you know. So I Want to Hear Your Voice, I did all the music too, and I recorded and sang it. And
having said that, Aaron, we opened up the show with "I Want to Hear Your Voice," so I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't say, tell me a little bit about this track.
Okay, so it was a lyric that Trevor Hooper had mostly, and so he'll write lyrics, and then I'll take them, then I'll move them around sometimes, or I'll have to, you know, change a little bit to be able to rhyme in this pattern. And usually I just look at the lyrics and start coming up with a melody, and then I'll fill in the blanks. And so that was how that came about. And then I'll start with a drum track, or I'll start with the click track, and then I'll build it from there. And then I'll put a guitar track, and then a bass and drums, and then piano, whatever. And that was how I did that. That's how I did that one. I recorded it mostly on a laptop acid program, and then I bring it in here to a Pro Tools artist, and try to get it a better mix, you know. So some of them come out a lot better than others, but it's strange to me, but a lot of times the ones that I do on my own seems to get played overseas. For instance, like you guys are playing things that I couldn't get played here, and and I think it's mainly because of the monopoly of it all. Just have it's like if it's not iHeart or some of the ones like that, and they're pretty much they you can get things played, but it's hard. It's real hard. So because they cater primarily to the major labels, and so it is difficult. But it's wonderful to be able to release singles through Caden or Franz or whoever, and be able to get some airplay like that. I'd love to come visit New Zealand one day. I was talking to my friend Randy. He's a American airline pilot. He was cutting the grass here today. He's an American airline international pilot. He flies all over the world, and he just came back from London. So he was just back. And I told him I had a radio interview with a radio station in New Zealand. And he said, man, that's a beautiful place. And I said, I know it's beautiful because your wife was filming one day as they were driving. She'd going somewhere, and she had it on Facebook Live. And I was watching all the, I was just watching, just looking. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
That'll be Barbara, and no, she's not my wife. She is actually my best friend and my co-host here at Galaxy.
Oh.
But no, my wife is sitting over the back over here. I'll introduce you very, very shortly. But in the meantime, love starts with two strong hearts. Tell me about this track.
Okay, that was one of those that really came quick. It was just a lyric, and I threw it down, and I thought maybe it would do okay. I didn't really know. I think I believe that I'm not sure about that track. I think that the tracks were done here. I think there's been so many different ones, but I'm pretty sure I did that in here too.
Let me tell you, Aaron, since we've been playing it, 1,318 requests for it. And believe me, I know it's going to go up tomorrow, I really do, because I see your name in the breakfast show every morning, I really do. So in the meantime, you're right here at Galaxy. Let's kick it off. Here is Love Starts with Two Strong Hearts, joined live by Aaron Bozwell.
Awesome.
How you feeling, Aaron? You okay?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice. Well, let me tell you, we're in every English-speaking country in the world, and some that aren't. And I don't know how that works, but hey, I'll take it anyway. Well, so I'll give you some stats as we go through this interview, and at the end of this, don't go anywhere because we'll take some pictures, and Barbara will put it all together for a movie, and you'll get the movie in the morning, if you know what I mean. So believe me. Now, I usually say to people, show it to friends and family, fair enough. They'll automatically love it because it's you. But I usually say, show it to somebody you don't like.
Right.
Well, no, it's twofold. It's twofold, my friend, it really is. It's a damn good boast to start with. But more importantly, usually artists show artists their video clips, and before you know it, that artist is getting in touch with us saying, hey, I got a band too, So it sort of works that way for us as well. How many countries are tuned in right now? 162 countries tuned in right now.
Wow.
Not bad. It's not bad.
So they get on their phone and listen.
Yeah. Believe me, I'll give you the number of. You see, we don't know if it's 10 people or one person or 100 people in a warehouse, whatever. It's only the devices, the IP addresses that we ping off, if you know what I mean. And I'll give you that number at the end of this because no point now, it's still going up. It really is. But I think you'll be surprised.
That's just wonderful. That is great.
Believe me, my friend, every time I look at the numbers, I'm surprised. I really am. Every morning I think, holy heck, there's that many people listening to the breakfast show? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because nowadays, kids, they listen to the radio on the phones, pretty much, It's not like it used to be.
Exactly, exactly. And believe me, we've been working with the local government here in New Zealand and Australia. You see, if you remember back in the day, there used to be AM, then they did away with that, came into FM. Well, now our governments want to know if it's feasible to do away with FM and go internet. You know what I mean? So for the last 11 years, we've been in an experiment with the government, literally.
Yeah, the FM stations seem to be bigger or broader or something like
Yeah,
more air. I don't know.
yeah. But believe me, the internet ones are going to take over soon. They will. You know, I think it's the boom, boom, boom that gets me about that track. I kind of like that. I really do. Of course, Aaron Boswell is joining us live with Love Starts with Two Strong Hearts here at Galaxy. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really is. Now, Aaron, got to let you know, not only are we listening around the world and everything like that, when we first started this about 11 years ago, because Barbara and I used to get drunk on air on a Monday night. We called it Skype Party Monday. We'd invite some friends, and before you know it, it went around the world. There was people from every country in the world getting drunk with us on a Monday night. But our bosses didn't seem to like that idea. It wasn't good for our image, you know, which I really think is weird because, I mean, they're worried about their image and then let me do this. You know what I mean? Hey, great for the image, right? But having said that, they liked the idea of doing the interviews and everything like that, meeting people on the interwebby with doing Skype. So they said, keep the idea, lose the alcohol. We did that and come up with meeting up with people much like yourself from all walks of life, from every country in the world, literally. And believe me, in 11 years, we've done a lot of interviews now. And we seem to have gathered a lot of followers as we go, if you know what I mean. And some of them are very, very important people too. There's prime ministers, there's presidents involved, and they listen to us. And, you know, it's kind of weird when, you know, you get a prime minister that just texts you going, you know, I'm sitting here all night listening to you. It's absolutely fantastic. It's like, holy heck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's awesome. That's wonderful.
It is, but the thing is that they're listening to it their time of the night basically is our breakfast show, which basically means they're listening to your music as well. You know what I mean? So, and believe me, the breakfast show is the biggest show that we have here at Galaxy. It really, really is. It just pumps it out. Now, having said that, I think that you've made a connection with our listening audience. Now, we don't call them fans and we don't call them an audience or anything like that. We actually call them the noise. And Aaron, let me tell you why. They're not shy about asking for a particular artist and a particular track. They really, really, believe me, I get a lot of it. And when I come to work about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, I actually have to go past reception. Sarah has out about 3 USB devices there. One of them is for statistics, of course, on how we performed for the day. The next one, of course, is well, you got to pay the bills and stuff like that, urgent emails, everything we need to take care of. And the last one is just called noise, simply because that's the one where I take into production, and I download that into the computer. It works out how many requests, how many tracks, by who, by what, by when, and then it works out how our breakfast show goes. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much automated, but it's all about how many people ask for which song. Now, believe me, I'm seeing your name there over and over and over again in the breakfast show. It's absolutely becoming quite amazing to watch, if you know what I mean, because most people tail off after a little while. You've been in there for a little minute and are hanging in there quite strongly, especially with Preacher's Daughter. Now, I've got to ask you about this. It was one of the one things that my father said never get married to, was a preacher's daughter and or a policeman's daughter. Well, I dated a preacher's daughter and I'm married now to a policeman's daughter, so I followed my dad's instructions. Well, Tell me about Preacher's Daughter, will you please?
Okay, that's another one that I co-wrote with Trevor Hooper from Australia. He wrote the lyrics, most of the lyrics of that one. Basically, mainly he wrote most of all the lyrics to that song. And his wife was very supportive of what we were doing in our music, through the COVID era. And unfortunately, she passed away of cancer. And she was a preacher's daughter. Her dad was a preacher, so he wrote that for her. And so when I recorded it, we dedicated it to her memory.
Well, Aaron, may I cut in there? Believe me, I'm absolutely sorry to hear that, to be very honest with you. My deepest sympathies there. But I think you've made a connection with the noise. Believe me, they've been asking for this. There's 2,271 requests for it since it's been played. And that's fantastic. So you're right here at Galaxy. Here, joining us live is Aaron Bozwell with Preacher's Daughter. Sorry to cut in, bro. From time to time, I've got limited time, if you know what I mean. So
that's fine. And also, I was going to say that I'm surprised the ones that people like the most. It surprises me because a lot of times I'd be like, "That's not the best one," from in my opinion. But then you never know. Like you said, you get all kinds of people requesting that. So I'm not that great at judging which songs are the better ones. Really, I do know that I just like the really good productions. And I'm a perfectionist. So like that first fiddle at the begining, that violin, it drives me nuts because I feel like it's a little too loud. That one little, all these little nuances, it is what it is. People seem to like it, so that's great.
Believe me, I've been an engineer for about 47 years, and I've worked with some of the biggest bands in the world, not only as a front of house, but also in some of the most prestigious recording studios as well. And, I'm exactly the same. The problem is I have what I call engineer's disease because I like to reverse engineer all the music I hear. I try and figure out their engineer's way of thinking, how they structured it, how they put it. You know what I mean? It's a damn curse. It really is. And if you catch it, man, I'm sorry for you. I really am, because it just never goes away once you've got it. It really doesn't. It's like having gold fever. It is. But believe me, I feel sorry for you. I really do, if you've ever got that.
You feel like you can do it better. I'm always saying, well, I can get that better. I can make that mix better. That's too loud. That needs to come down.
Yep.
That's a little bit, this or that. And then when it comes to, mixing and producing, I overproduce. I overproduce about everything I put my hands on, but I've been working on it, really concentrating on not overproducing things. And I still do it, but I try not to, because less is more.
Believe me, I fully understand. I really, really do understand, my friend. I do. I've been doing it for so many years, and I've still got the same hang-ups. I still make the same mistakes. I really do. Just one of those things.
It's like you hear something and you're like, God, they could have. That was a little out of place,
And it becomes believe me, I know what it's like. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, and when you do find it, you just can't get it. It really pisses me off. How many cities are tuned in? 6,493. It's not bad. 6,493 cities are tuned in right now.
Wow.
Not bad, not bad. Let's go back to the desk, my friend. That's right. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Aaron Boswell, coming out of Nashville, and believe me, absolutely loving what Aaron's producing right now. Really, really am. Now, Aaron, I got a young lady coming out of Washington State. Her name is Tina. I'm sorry, I apologise, Tina, and she's asking, as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on X? Are you on all of the medias, but more importantly, do you respond?
Absolutely. Well, you mean to find the music?
Yeah, but not only that, just to be able to say hello, hey, you're doing a great day, you're doing a great job. Do you respond to your audience at all?
I do. If somebody sends me a message, now there is a Facebook page that I think Caden set up that I don't go on very often. That's usually the things that come up that show me, this radio station or this station is playing something. But as far as my regular Facebook pages, I have two, and both of those I'll respond to anybody that's asked a question or anything. You can find my music on Spotify. Also Reverb Nation. You spell the last name with a Z, not an S. The way I spell it for my artistry, it's Aaron, Aaron, and then Bozwell. So you can find quite a bit of music and things, and you can always send me a message on Facebook. I also have an Instagram account, but I don't do anything much with it. Like all my younger friends that have record deals and things that are younger, like in their 20s, there's a group called the Castellos. They're out of Georgia, 3 blonde sisters. And then I have a friend, Austin Williams, who's those Castellos. They're on Warner Brothers now. And then my friend Austin Williams, he's got a deal, I think, on Capitol. But they all, and several of my friends that's out there performing, they do a lot of reels. They do a lot of things on Instagram and the reels and all that, to keep their music out there in front of people. I need to start doing that. I'm just not good at it. I need a helper. I need someone that's good at that. So yeah, anybody out there that's good at that kind of thing, hit me up because I would love to talk to you.
Well, there's a good idea, actually. I'll have a chat to you about something after this I might have in mind for you, because I do have a friend of mine coming out of Orlando, Florida, that might be able to help you, if you know what I'm saying. So you never know. We'll have a chat about that after this. But having said that, my friend, I was mentioning Timothy. Timothy is coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's asking, Aaron, do you have a merch store? Can I buy t-shirts, caps, and koozies?
I do not have any merchandise right now, but if he's in Charlotte, North Carolina, he could call my dad, who is Keith Boswell in Monroe, and tell him that he wants a t-shirt, and maybe Daddy can get him one.
There you go.
He used to own Boswell Electric in Monroe, so if he lives in Charlotte, then he could probably find him. But I used to have some t-shirts and things, but I hadn't been touring. I haven't been doing a whole lot of shows, and so I don't have anything right now for sale like that. But definitely need to do. I need to make some, and when I do, for you in Charlotte, when I make a t-shirt again or a hat, leave the information, and I'll send you one.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I tell you what, when you do, send me one as well, because believe me, I'd be more than honoured to wear an Aaron Boswell t-shirt. Today, I'm wearing, well, it's no longer Ashley Pater, it's Archie. She's rebranded, but still, I've got the t-shirt. It's a little tight on me. Apparently, it makes me look buff. I'm skinny. I never look buff anyway, so believe me, but absolutely proud to wear Ashley Pater this morning. I really.
What size do you wear? And if you can find out what size the guy in Charlotte wears, I'll see if I can't get you some.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get Barbara to get onto that, literally, because believe me, I have no idea. Women sort of come in soon as they look at you, they sum it up and go, oh, you're a size this and you're a size that and blah, 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 blah. And you don't even know their first name yet. You know what I mean? I've actually had that happen. Believe me. So, but me personally, absolutely useless at knowing what sizes I am, except for, well, I know I take a size 10.5 shoe. That's it.
Right.
Anything
So
other than
you
that?
think it's a large T-shirt, probably, or medium?
Medium.
Medium and a large, apparently.
Yeah, medium and large. And
Small.
I wear a double X most of the time.
Okay.
Sometimes more than that, but I try to keep my weight down as much as I can.
Well, that makes two of us too. But having said that, we must move on. Literally, I'm being told in my headphones that we got to move on. So, Aaron, Spellbound. Now, this one was the one that I heard the most and wanted to know more about you. So, why did I find this track so exciting?
When I recorded Spellbound, I did it as a demo, and then we went into a studio with Kent Wells, Dolly Parton's producer, guitar player, and his group recorded that with me. And I let him, I had a work tape, and I said, I want you to stop, the whole band right here. I want this line, this dum, 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 all that. So I basically produced it by telling him what I wanted. And he took all those notes down. So whenever they recorded it, they did exactly what I asked them to do. And I thought it turned out really good. Well, Spellbound. Spellbound was another lyric that Trevor Hooper in Australia had sent.
Very cool. Well, I tell you, Aaron, literally, and this doesn't happen often, but I've added it to my playlist in my car. I'm listening to you as I go home at night and come back to work in the morning. So believe me, I'm absolutely loving Spellbound here at Galaxy.
Thank you so much, man. I sure do appreciate that, and I appreciate you enjoying it. I think my voice is a little different than others, so maybe it stands out a little bit. Not saying that I'm better than anybody else, but it's just like when I was on Curb, I was bragging to Mike Curb one day about Leanne Rimes and her voice and how it was special and all, and he said, "You have that kind of voice too, Aaron. You have a unique voice. So, not that it's better, not that it's worse, just that it's different. So I appreciate you enjoying it."
Very, very cool. You're joined live by Aaron Bozwell, coming out of Nashville. Here is Spellbound. Gosh, it's hot in here. It really is.
Yes.
Wow. You'll be coming up to summertime now, won't you?
What's that?
You're coming into summer now?
I was about to say, it's cold there, isn't it?
Well, 67 degrees.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad, yeah. But yeah, we are coming into winter. It's just that I was going to say, have you got anything planned for the summer? Have you got any gigs or any festivals that you've got lined up?
I was thinking about going down to the Keys. I've got a friend down there that plays down in the Key West all the time. So I was thinking about going down and spending a few days with him and maybe playing some of those tiki bars down there. I did that before. Nashville has all kinds of places to play, but I don't go out and play like at Broadway and some of those. I did that before, so I tend to stay to myself and really don't get out very much, it keeps me out of trouble. But I got a feeling that this summer is going to be. Hopefully, I'll be able to do some shows and make some things happen. Every little thing helps. Like doing an interview with you, it helps. When you put that together, for me, it helps because I'm going to be meeting with Garth Brooks' manager real soon, Bob Doyle,
Okay.
and I'm putting a lot of songs together to bring to him. So anything I can put together that makes it that much more exciting for him to look at.
Fair enough.
And I appreciate this opportunity, and I appreciate you guys playing my records. I really do.
It's an absolute honour, my friend. It is. And besides, you're wearing the right hat right coloured hat anyway for Garth Brooks.
It's a black hat.
Yep. Yep.
Garth's manager Bob. He's been with him ever since he began. The man that owned this building here that passed away, my friend that had me here, Mr. Smithson. He's a Shriner. He was, and he was a pilot as well, like his son. One of his sons is, but he flew in the military.
Okay.
So he and Major Bob Doyle. Major Bob was because he was a major.
Sorry, I've actually got to cut in. We're about to run out of time, so I'll get the rest of this in a minute.
Okay.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Aaron Bozwell, Major Doyle. This is a name that sounds familiar to me. Why would I know Major Bob Doyle?
Because he is the manager of Garth Brooks.
That'll be why?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the manager of Garth Brooks, and he's been managing him ever since he began in Nashville.
Very, very cool. Well, you know something? I think you got huge potential in the near future, my friend. I really, really do. But just before we wind this up, I've got to ask you, anything new in the can? Have you got anything coming up in the near future?
Yes, I'm working on about 3 new songs. I'm working on the tracks now, and I'm looking forward to getting them out as soon as possible.
Well,
as soon as we can release them.
Don't forget about us down here in the Antipodes. We would love to be able to do this again. Would you come back for another interview?
I would love to. I'd love to take a trip out there.
Well,
I'd love to come and do a show somewhere out there.
We would love to show you around our humble country. We really, really would. And believe me, I think you would fit in very, very well in a lot of places in playing some very, very cool music, especially down the South Island for the country festival down there. I think it would work.
That would be awesome. I'd love that. I think I could get the flight worked out. You know, I have a pilot that said he could get me wherever I need to go.
Well, you know something? I would like to have a friend like that myself, actually. I really, really would. And maybe one day, you never know, I might steal him off you and stick him on my own plane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What I was telling you about, the man that's given me a great opportunity, place to work and to record. He passed away this past year, but I was talking about Major Bob Doyle because they were together in Oklahoma City, and they were in a hotel. They were flying. They had gone to some sort of flying thing, and he called my friend Smitty, and Richard's his name. He went by this lounge and he heard this guy in there singing. He said, "Bob, you need to go down there and hear this guy. He'll make you a lot of money." And he said, "You need to go get that boy. He'll make you a lot of money." And Bob said, "You go get him, Smitty." And he said, "I'm not in the music business. You are." So he went down there and listened to Garth in this lounge, and he was singing in there, you know. So that's when he asked him, do you know have you been to Nashville? He said, "I've been there." He said, "Well, you want to come, can you get there next week?" And he said, "Sure." And so it went from there. He met with him and he signed him to a publishing deal and also a management deal. And then, of course, they got busy. And there's a young artist now that Bob is also working with. He's not working with me, Bob isn't, not yet. I am going to meet with him. But the guy, he's also working with several other writers, and he's got a young artist named Zach Top, and he's doing really well. He's getting pretty popular. Real traditional country, and I know that you guys have pop and rock and, every kind of music there is. So I was pretty excited that you guys had my music playing on your radio station. Because it's not real traditional country. A lot of the stuff I do, but then again, I don't really know what category you'd put it in. So it's not like today's country. But I guess we'll just have our own category, huh?
Absolutely. Now, Aaron, just before we wind this up, and I'm very, very curious about this, because you're in the Hall of Fame, but you're in the Hall of Fame in South Africa. How the hell did that happen?
So we have two distributors. One is Caden, distributing the records, and then another guy's Franz, I think it was last name, but he has a chart, and the chart's based out of South Africa. He's, I guess, from South Africa, and the chart is just it's just I've been getting we've been having these records in the charts and that particular chart, and so that, I guess that's how I guess he's the one that had that worked out for me to be involved in that or to get that, because I believe he might have made that happen. I really don't know. I do know that they're out of South Africa.
That's fantastic, and that's absolutely amazing. So congratulations for that, and I don't get to meet too many Hall of Famers, so I'm feeling quite chuffed about that myself. Anyway, my friend, I am going to have to wrap this up right now, but please don't go anywhere just yet, because we are going to take a couple of pickies. Barbara's going to put it all together in a movie, and you'll get that in the morning. Plus, we'll give you a few more stats as well, I think you'll be impressed with. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today, and come back on Thursday. Believe me, you're going to absolutely love it, because, what do you know? We're heading over to North Carolina. We're going to be catching up with a band by the name of Stillwater Junction. Absolutely looking forward to that. So, but join myself and Barbara tomorrow morning after 5 in the morning, all the way through until 10 o'clock. Believe me, the fantastic breakfast show, 100% Galaxy artist, 110% the best in the world. Have a great day. From everybody here, it's Happy Radio, everyone.